Magandang gabi sa ating lahat. Ngayon, pagbubulay-bulayan natin ang talata mula sa Genesis 6:22. The sacrifice of obedience. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. Reflecting on Noah's obedience in building the ark, we learn profound lessons about the nature of obedience. First is obedience is based on faith in God. So Noah's obedience stemmed from his unwavering faith in God's word. He trusted in God's promises and acted accordingly, even when the task seemed daunting. Second, obedience requires sacrifice and commitment. Building the ark demanded significant sacrifice and commitment from Noah. He invested time, resources, and labor into fulfilling God's instructions, demonstrating his devotion to God's will above his own comfort. Third is obedience is tested through time. Noah's obedience was not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey of faithfulness. He endured through the challenges and uncertainties, remaining steadfast in his obedience to God's command. So to apply these principles in our lives, first commit our lives for God's purpose. Like Noah, commit ourselves wholeheartedly to God's purpose for our lives. Surrender our plans, desires, and comforts to His will, trusting that His plans are always for our good. Second is sacrifice comfort in order to fulfill God's will. Identify areas where we may be clinging to comfort or convenience rather than obedience to God. Willingly sacrifice these comforts for the sake of fulfilling God's will, knowing that true fulfillment comes from aligning our lives with His purposes. Third is obey and endure the test of time. Embrace obedience as a lifelong journey, knowing that it will be all tested through various seasons of life. Remain steadfast in our commitment to obey God's commands, trusting that He will sustain us through every trial and challenge. So in our daily lives, how can we practically practice or sacrifice comfort in order to do God's will? So let's share examples of specific comforts or conveniences that may hinder our obedience to God and discuss practical steps we can take to prioritize His will above our own comfort. So together, let's encourage one another to embrace the sacrificial nature of obedience and trust in God's faithfulness to sustain us through every step of obedience.